Auto sequence start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, hello there. Welcome, my fellow seekers of silly situations, to another installment of Canned Conversation. My name is Andrew, and with me, as always, my good friend Stephen.
What's up?
If you had to describe your life right now in terms of it being a sport, which sport would it be?
I'm going to go with ping pong because it's kind of chaotic. It's quick.
That's good. For you, I almost thought hockey.
I almost went with hockey.
Because you got the added bonus of people trying to check you into the board.
That is true. Yeah.
Hitting you with sticks.
Yep. Yeah, no, that could be it too. Yeah, maybe it is hockey, but I went with ping pong. I'm like, I feel like I'm just doing that all day, going ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. So
excellent. I think mine, as I thought about it, I was like, maybe it's the luge, where I'm just jumping on a piece of wood and
straight downhill,
and then just going, hang on,
out of curiosity,
and hope I don't crash.
Is it luge because you're going feet first, or you feel like you're going face first, like skeleton?
Yeah, it could be that too.
Okay,
but yeah, let's go skeleton because I don't have well, maybe I do because I got my family in there too with the luge, right? Because isn't the luge 4-person or is that still one?
That's 2.
Oh, that's
right.
Toboggan.
So you're thinking
torpedo toboggan.
Oh, you're thinking of bobsled.
Bobsled. There you go.
Bobsled, you can there's a pile of people that come onto the bobsled, but you can do 2-man or 4-man. But luge is 2-man or single, I think, and then skeleton's by yourself because you're on your face.
Right. Yeah. And Superman in it.
Yeah.
So I'll go bobsled then because the rest of the fam's in the back, and I'm just like, let's just go.
You're trying to hit the turns.
On, and and because I feel like things are getting thrown at you and at me.
Are you the person driving? Or are you the one at the back that has to push off from the beginning?
I made the kids do that.
Okay.
I'm older now. I'm the one driving. I'm trying to drive. Maybe that probably sounds bad. Like I feel like I have to drive everything. I don't, but
But you feel like that.
Well, definitely feel like I'm watching the craziness happen and unfold in front of me, with various things. All right. Well, as is our shtick, one of us brings a new, unique, or rare canned beverage to try, and while we sniff, gargle, and swallow its contents, we will do our very best to engage you with our witty banter. Today's being about some hypothetical situations Stephen came up with that we shall immerse ourselves in for your entertainment. Later in the show, we'll review and rate the canned beverage and let you know if you should try it while dipping your legs in some body of water, be it a lake or a blow-up kiddie pool, and celebrating the unofficial start of summer.
Sweet.
Yes.
This is Memorial Day?
We are coming up on Memorial Day.
Yay, summer.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure I'll be griping about it sometime soon because it's too hot and too humid.
Right.
But it's really nice to go outside in shorts and a t-shirt.
And because it's unofficial, you haven't hit that sweltering heat. So I feel like finding some water somewhere is kind of what most people try to do.
Yeah.
Be it in your backyard or if you're lucky enough to be on a lake or the ocean or something. So we need a can, and I think you brought today. So let's do this to get it started.
One day, some of the kids from the neighborhood carried my mother's groceries all the way home. You know why? It was out of respect.
Drop it. I'm acting like a DJ where I just drop sounds on, drop beats on funny things. So that one's going to be a tougher one for you.
Is it not from Godfather or Goodfellas? One of the two?
You're
Goodfellas?
asking in the negative? Okay. So
I'm going to go with Goodfellas.
Yes. Woohoo! Excellent job.
That's Ray Liotta's voice, though, right?
Yeah. Gone but not forgotten, Ray Liotta. So, gone too quickly.
I should have gotten extra credit for that.
Excellent movie.
It's crazy. I got the name of the actor, too.
Yeah, excellent gangster movie. Or mob movie. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Actually, just watched it. Where that came from is a documentary. First of all, Mother's Day was in the neighborhood of where we're at. And I watched a documentary on the crime that is the holdup at the airport. That is a true story that occurs in that movie.
Oh, okay.
So it's a wild story of how these guys, picked off an airport full of a bunch of money on that was supposed to be transported.
Is it money or is it money and jewels and like other stuff?
It was all money. It was like
was all
cash.
cash.
It was supposed to be a transport of cash, and they broke into where it was being held. And
Brilliant.
And then because there was too many of them, right? Everyone's a loose end.
Right.
So that started.
Yeah, you got to take care of all that.
It was so bad. All right, what do we got?
So we brought something a listener a while back gave me, and it has been sitting in my garage, and I apologize. It's been sitting there so long, but it's called Dallas Blonde. Dallas Blonde, funny, crazy little can, kind of artistic and like cartoony. Love Runs Deep is what's on it. So it's a, I don't know. It's an interesting little can from a Dallas brewery. And I will tell you what brewery it's from. Possibly, who really knows? Yeah. It's, I don't know. It's a Dallas brewery somewhere.
You did a lot of research on this
did.
and all the time that it was sitting in your fridge.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It says it's brewed and canned by Deep Ellum Brewing Co.
Oh yeah, there you go. There's the sign right there. I see it. So it's 12 Florida ounces and 5.2% alcohol by volume.
To love, run, and deep. I think
Not
that
and.
runs deep.
Yep.
Oh, it just says two, then says love runs deep. That S looks like an ampersand.
Agree.
So,
But it's not because it won't make sense.
right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good art, like you said at the top. Did you say it's a golden balanced session ale?
I didn't, but I appreciate you saying it.
Yes, it's-
somebody needs to read something off of here that makes sense.
Lots of
Jeez.
diamonds and
It's a weird yellow can. with this-
cityscape.
Yeah. This, I don't know.
Guessing it's Dallas, but there's some monuments in here that doesn't quite look like Dallas. But
No, I don't get that either. But
all right. This is going to be fun. I love
cool
the can.
It's a cool can.
Yeah, I love the. I hope the contents inside are as good as the artwork on the out.
so the other day, let me just tee this up. real
The
quick.
other day,
Earlier this week, I don't even know. I don't know. The days are kind of a blur anymore, but we were talking about discovery. And so discovery being, how do you inform yourself before you start talking? How do you listen? What questions do you ask to be able to like start pulling in information? For some reason I went down a path with that where it's like, how do you ask powerful questions to get information from people? To learn more about the problems that they're having so that you can actually help them with their problems. That was the whole goal of the whole discovery conversation. But it led me down the path of asking weird questions. And that led me down a path. Like, again, you know how my brain works, right? Like I just end up in a rabbit hole somewhere and I'm like, so then I ended up on a page that had some weird questions. And I'm like, well, I should just and you were like, hey, we're gonna talk this weekend or this week on the podcast. And I'm like, we're just gonna ask hypothetical questions. And so that's
and
what
explore.
I have a list of weird crap that I think is fun to talk about and to think about because it's all hypothetical.
See, that's our favorite kind of thing to talk about.
Right.
You know, there have been some episodes of late where we've delved into the real world.
Yeah. And nobody likes that.
No.
That does not go over well.
Gotten some a little bit of blowback in some various realms of
Yeah.
the world. So we're like, hey, let's
all talk
go
about
into
hypothetical
let's,
stuff.
Right, let's
Yeah.
go into the fantasy world and
Right. Hypothetically, here's some political stuff I want to talk. No, I'm just kidding. So, hypothetically, this is all hypothetical questions. I'm going to start with an easy one to give you the idea, but we're going to get into some weirder stuff, just for the record. So, which would you rather live in, Harry Potter world or Star Wars world?
Wow, that is a great question because both have these evil entities
Right.
that are, I guess, and am I the protagonist
Yeah.
or the villain?
No, you're a protagonist.
Okay, that makes a difference.
And I would say to make it equal, you're also a wizard and you're also a Jedi. Mm-hmm. Because if you're just a background character in either one, it's kind of like if you're a muggle in Harry Potter world and just like a guy in a town that they pass through, who cares about either one?
Yeah, all right.
So you have to be you're a Jedi and a wizard.
So this is I would love the outer space aspect of the Jedi, but I feel like there's so much going on there with the rebels and the constant battling, where in Harry Potter world, it seems like when you're in the wizarding world is where, a lot of chaos is happening with the bad guy, but then you come back to the real world and you're a wizard amongst non-wizards.
Right.
I think that would be my ideal. So I'm going to say Harry Potter world. And I learn all the cool stuff that makes me better, or not better than people necessarily, but just more talented at doing magic.
Yeah.
That would be awesome to do.
I went through that same thought process and go, I don't want to live in constant fear of war, which is basically what Star Wars is, right? Like there's
Right.
always some, I get that it seems like Harry Potter just builds to, there's eventually going to be this big war, but you get magic.
Yeah.
Like you can do a lot of, if I don't have to be Harry Potter where it's all on my shoulders, I can just be, a friend of Ron Weasley, but still have all the powers. I'm good.
Right.
I'm in. All right.
And the other thing, I'm just going to tag this on
you're
there.
good.
Because I feel like while space is really cool, in theory, living in space would suck. So if I'm on a ship, it's so confined.
Yeah.
Even bigger ships, you're still sort of really confined to not being able to go outside, enjoy sunshine, and green grass and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Which I just have to say this because I thought of it. You're going to think I'm a real dork for this. But I was watching a movie about space, and they were and it's not Earth. It's in a completely different.
It's a different space.
It's a different universe.
Okay.
Right? And the guy goes, one of the characters goes, "Oh, I wish we could go down to that planet so my kids could bask in the sun." And I was like, "What? That's just a star. We named our star the sun.
Right.
Not every star is called the sun.
Right.
That's not Earth.
Every solar system doesn't have the sun.
Right. Like those writers were pretty lazy.
Yeah, no kidding. Like,
Sorry to derail.
no, you're good. Okay, so are you ready?
I'm ready.
Would you kill one innocent child to heal all of the world's disease forever?
Wow.
So we jump from Harry Potter. Sorry. I probably should have eased into that. You want to ease into that one? Think about that.
Here's where I thought you were going with this, because I just I saw a reel that pertained to, and I think I've said this on the podcast before. There's the someone comes to you and says, "Hey, if you hit this button, you will get $10 million," but somebody you don't even know will die.
Dies.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's that whole theory, and so that was going on in the reel, and they said, "Hey, if you hit this button," and the guy looks at the button and just starts going, "Do, do, 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 do." And he just keeps hitting it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so great. I never even thought about that. I can hit it like 20 times. I get
just
20
keep hitting it.
million.
Yeah. Just
But all these people
paying
just
up.
start passing out dead.
Oh, that's good stuff.
So I kill one innocent child
And cure the world's diseases.
and cure
forever.
all the world's diseases forever. Wow. I mean, that's like it's almost like you have to do it. Yeah, I guess I would.
Really?
It's just billions of people currently and future generations that don't have to deal with like cancer, which is horrible. I mean, the good of the one in this instance, I don't think outweighs the good of the many. It just, there's so many people at stake, and that's a horrible, it would never, obviously hypothetical.
Right. It's all hypothetical. So it doesn't matter
Right.
what you say. You
So
can have it
obviously-
whatever
so
opinion you want.
It's one of these where I go, well, that's never really a real world scenario. But I mean, if you didn't and everyone knew, and they're like, my mom's dying again, and then you start talking, even if they didn't know, but you start hearing all of these, or you get to,
You would be suicidal at the end
Yeah.
of this because
Yeah.
the guilt of it would be bad.
Yeah, and I would have to live with that. It almost might be one of those things where I do it and then go, I might have to end my own suffering for having done it, but I've done it for the greater good of mankind. And maybe they'll erect a statue to me, but I'll be gone and don't have to.
So if you killed the kid,
I do it by putting him in the car seat in the back of a car, and I drive off a cliff. And
you're only killing one kid.
I know, but I've also offed
Everybody
myself.
with cancer has also said, "Oh my God, my cancer's cured."
Right. But my point is I might do it by also taking out myself.
Okay. I'm going to go the complete opposite direction and go, I let the kid live. I think
Explain that to the world.
adversity is part of life. Sorrow is part of life. Sadness is part of life. If you take away illness and the possibility for someone to get ill, you don't appreciate the fact that I think there's part of it that says you're overcoming things in life. Some of that's illness, some of that's death in your family. Those things make you who you are. I let the kid live. I keep disease, which is
Well, allow me to retort.
not a good probably stance. But the good news is it's hypothetical, so I can't be wrong.
True.
Okay, good.
But let me riddle me this, Batman.
All right.
Because I don't know if I may have asked this on another podcast. One of my favorite questions that I love to tease out with people is, if all of the natural causes of death were eradicated from the earth, what do you think the average lifespan would be?
I know it's too long.
But is it?
Yes.
Because
we have too many people.
But car accidents,
Too many.
fires,
Too many.
murders. No, I'm just saying ways to die
Yeah.
that are not natural.
Yeah.
There's statistics on all of them.
Yeah.
You're bound to get hit with one of them. So
Sure.
do you think it would go up to 150, 200? Like if people protected themselves in a bubble, maybe, but it would go up pretty high. But I just think living your life, you're still going to have adversity.
So I'm just saying, I'm leaving disease in it because I think you you need something that culls population. You need something that adds adversity to your life. And I don't think removing disease is a good, I think that's Earth's natural way of kind of taking care of some stuff.
Perhaps.
So,
but I'm just saying that there's other ways that are going to cull the population.
Like everybody who would have gotten a disease gets hit by a car or struck by lightning or eaten by a shark.
I mean, they would at some point. Nobody's going to live forever is my point.
Well, so disease is one thing. I don't think you live. Maybe you live to, maybe the average age ends up being 95, but at some point your organs just go, I'm tired. I quit. Like your knees and your hips and your internal organs are like, we've run our course. It's time for us to just stop working. We've worked for a long time straight.
In my scenario, that doesn't happen.
It happens.
But I know, but that's a natural cause of death.
Right.
Whereas I'm saying if natural causes of death were removed, you would still probably end up dying just based on odds of being hit by a car, falling off a bridge, doing something.
Overdosing on fentanyl.
Yeah.
Something.
Purposefully or not purposefully.
Right.
They're accidental. A lot of
Accidental deaths
accidental
all the
deaths.
time. Yep, agree.
I don't think it'd be 95. I think it would go up 100 years, but I think it would be south of 200.
Okay.
And I think that the crime rate would probably increase because of reasons.
As it should. Okay. So would you rather kind of question? Would you rather live another 80 years and never leave your house, or only live 10 more years and be free to roam around the country as you see fit? You got 80 years more of life.
Yeah.
Can't leave the confines of your quarter acre.
Yeah. Excellent question.
10 years, go over wherever you want, but you're not going to make it into your 60s.
I hate this question.
Good.
But because I'm going to say I will beat myself up for it probably later, but after 10 years and I still have another 70 to go, I'd go, man, I do really like living and I don't know what's on the other side. And I have a nice house. Can I go out my backyard or is it in the confines of the walls?
I'm going to say inside your property lines. You own.
Oh, so I can go outside.
Yeah, you can just go out
It's my backyard.
Yeah,
front yard.
you've got a quarter, whatever you have here. You can use your front yard, but you can't go into the street because that's outside your property.
Yeah,
So you go on your property.
I'd take 80 years, and begrudgingly, because I know I would be losing a lot of life experience, but I would only have 10 years to pack that in, where I'd have 80 to have people come visit me. I can have, and in our technology,
grandkids and all kinds of great grandkids. You can have all kinds of stuff happen in 80 years.
Yeah, and they can all come to my house.
Yeah.
And I might have them. If in that situation, I might go, "Hey, live it here, right?" Because I don't have a huge family, so I could go, "Hey, if one or two of the kids wants to live here for a long time, or live next door, if they know I can't leave, we could We could do what
You
they
could
do
just
on
build-
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah,
you know?
just build onto this house, right? Like
Yeah,
you could just
yeah.
build back or build
Right.
forward and just be like, yeah, I'm just putting another room on.
Build up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put
People
another
do that
story
stuff
on
too.
this.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you do? I assumed you would take the 10.
My heart wants to say take the 10.
You're a get out and go.
My heart says 10 because I feel like it's like I've watched enough people get to that 70 range where they're not very productive anymore. 70 years old, they start, their bodies start slowing down. Things start being hard to go do stuff. So really for me, getting the upper 40s, you know, my 50s and my 60s are kind of the window of travel anyway. So I need to be doing that crap. But I'm kind of leaning the way you went. It's like, there's a part of me that goes, I want to see some things happen here. Not that I'm selfish about it, but I want to be able to see grandkids. And I want to be able to, there's things I want to see. And if I had to be restricted to my damn house, then I'll have to be restricted to my house, right? Like it just is what it is. I won't like it. It would drive me crazy, but I've been restricted to my house for 3 years now with this stupid COVID thing. I don't leave very often anyway. I would just have to figure out how to Grubhub fun stuff to my house or something.
Yeah. I agree. It would suck.
It wouldn't be good.
Yeah, it would.
We have to have theme
It's a
nights
big
or something.
trade-off. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm kind of lean towards your way, but I wouldn't want to. My heart would
I
tell
really
me.
thought you were going to take the 10.
I was going to take the 10 until you talked through it. And I'm like, dang it. So if you could travel to the future to be present at your own funeral, would you do it?
Yes.
Why?
No, do I get to come back? Like, I just, it's like, I
you
get in the DeLorean.
Yeah, you get to go there for an hour,
Yeah.
right? And go, I get to be present at my funeral to see what happens.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Because I think everybody, I'm speaking for a lot of people,
It's everybody. That's everyone.
but there was, there was an episode of Curb Your Own Enthusiasm where Albert Brooks's character fakes his own death, but basically they just set up a funeral for him, and then he witnesses it from like a different room that's on pay-per-view. And it's, you know, I think everybody has that itch in their brain of, when I die, is anyone going to show up?
Right. And who's going to decide not to?
Did I make any difference in
Yeah.
people's lives that they would be like, hey, I'm going to come and that it hurt that he died. So I want to come pay my respects or whatever you want to call it. And then my other thing that I always think about is I've been to a lot of funerals, you know, sort of not a ton, but, you know, enough.
I've been to enough.
Right. That it's really interesting when I've gone to more religious funerals, no one talks. Like, you know, if it's a very standard church service, and then maybe there's like a, hey, afterwards, get some brownies and some punch somewhere, or someone's house maybe, or the downstairs, the gymnasium or something. And then you talk to people, but I don't think there's a really good celebration.
Yeah.
Because people are almost, I don't know if they're afraid to, like, they don't want to get up and talk because that's like public speaking.
Right.
Or if they feel weird doing it, like, you know,
remember-
but I would love for somebody, like, to people to get up and
Tell
go,
stories.
yeah, and be like, hey, just for this one day, like, don't be afraid to get up. But I would just be curious if anybody, or if everybody just sits back and goes, let's go through the motions.
Yeah, this is just a normal funeral.
Yeah.
Like, so my neighbor, I don't know if you remember her, but she was an old lady. She lived with her husband. Her husband died.
I do remember her.
Norma. And
Broke her leg bringing you a pie, didn't she?
She broke her leg bringing me steaks. And it was
Sticks.
just, I
That's right.
walked out to put my kid on the bus, and my kid's like, dude, there's a lady
On the ground.
and her legs are going the wrong way. And I'm like, oh no, I had to pick her up and take her inside and call the ambulance. It was bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so went to Norma's funeral. And the guy's like, would anybody like to get up and tell a story? I got up. I spoke at my neighbor's funeral.
Right.
And I'm like,
That's
this is
awesome.
the story. Right. But a couple people did. And they're like, oh, this is, you know, this is how she affected us. And I'm like, we used to take her looking for Christmas lights. And so I told this whole Christmas light story and how we have to count the number of baby Jesuses we saw because she was super religious, but we would
Nice.
count snowmen because Jen likes snowmen, and she would count baby Jesus, and we kept a tally in our car. So we did it like 5 years in a row, and we'd see if we could get more Jesuses than snowmen. It was weird. Anyway, but people were like, oh my God, I'm so thankful you shared a story with us. Like, that seems like so normal. I'm like, yeah. So I hope people do that at my funeral.
Yeah.
Get up and tell a story, and like, Stephen was dumb and made me laugh. And this is whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly. And then like you said, who shows up? And then just and maybe if I could peek into the casket, I could see about how old I am.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
guess
It's true. I hope it's open casket. That way I know if what year I'm gonna die. Like, ooh, when that starts going, when I get all the way bald in the back, it's time. Okay.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Right, just because
Like, that's like-
if
yeah,
I look like it's
that's
only
like-
like a year from now, I'm like, oh man,
That's insider trading. Yeah, like you're that's awesome. All right. A little more lighthearted, although my last little thought was I want to be at my own funeral just to see who got me. You know what I mean? Like who really gets like me as a person to goes and they celebrate my death as it's like I'm like that person got me.
Right.
That person was all about it. So
yeah.
all right. So if you were forced to teach, you didn't have a choice. You had no choice. What would you teach?
All right. And is it any kid level?
Yeah, I don't care. It could be to infants to elderly people. Topics that range from stuff that you can Google to things that you know specifically because it's your job. Don't care. What would you teach?
So I'm just going to be brutally honest here. I could never teach anybody from pre-K to high school, and not including high school. I think I could teach in high school, but middle school, like any through 8th grade, I cannot do it. I do not have the patience. Those people are saints. I would pay them if I could change their wages. I would up it and pay them, a lot because they are unbelievable in what they have to deal with. We had a whole podcast with your sister, who's a teacher, and it was like celebrating teachers just needs to be a thing more than it is. And so, but I think what I would love to do is teach college, and I would love like freshman college of finance and money, because I love just harkening back to our podcast that we did on the Are You Living Your Rich Life kind of thing. So I find it fascinating, all of the ways of money, and I feel like kids coming out of high school have some. I mean, like they do have classes now. Like my daughters have a class of some basic finance, but it's pretty rudimentary. I want to kind of get it into an adult arena, like before you're an adult, kind of
before you get in the real world.
Yeah, you're making that transition
life,
and saying, you're about to move out into an apartment.
Yeah.
How's the best way to do that?
Yep.
I think that would be fun. And college, being a college professor, I actually thought, like, if I soft retire at some point where I don't have to work necessarily, but I might, I would love to teach stuff. I used to do some training and stuff.
Yeah.
I think teaching's kind of fun. Because you can have fun with it.
Yeah.
Keep it light, make it humorous, not be so stoic, and not be the teacher that you didn't like, but be something that hopefully would be more engaging. You?
So I thought about this. If I had the educational background, I would love to teach psychology. I love that piece of things. I just don't have the educational background. So if I had to go choose, I think I would.
You could wing it.
Like I 100% BS it, which isn't, I could learn whatever I've learned from Instagram.
That's right.
I just incorporate that into a lesson plan every day. I just get up at 6 and flip through Instagram. So I think it would be probably, if I had to teach something, it would be like tennis. I did that for a long time. Like as a kid, I enjoyed it. As a young adult, I guess, enjoyed it. I think I would just do that. Just go teach people a new skill. It would be like tennis or guitar or something. Like just teach them something creative, and like tennis is a good thing to go out and it's a fun activity that you can play forever. So I think I'd probably do that.
I was thinking way more along, I guess, of school subjects. But I know tennis can be in college and stuff. It's sort of a physical education. I think we had that at our original college.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, all right. This might be a tougher one. I'm not going to lie, for both of us to answer. So there's a wrong answer for this one.
There is.
Is it better to save a sibling or 5 strangers if the building is on fire?
Wow, I love how you just reworded this from the train. This is the famous train conundrum.
Okay.
I like the building's on fire.
Yeah. Building's on fire. You got 5 strangers or your sister.
Right. So the old version of this is there's a train hurtling down the tracks, and there's a switch where it forks into a Y.
Yeah.
And if you pull the switch, your
5 strangers on one
die,
side and sisters on the other.
Right. And if it's your close fellow person, so there. I love that you said there's a wrong answer to this because I'm probably going to get it wrong.
Yeah. You save 5 people, don't you?
I saved the sister. I love that. I love people, and I would hate having to make that decision. It's the world's worst decision. But if they're adults, because in the first one you made me kill a kid.
Yeah, I did.
So I'm just on this
one is
rampage.
This one you're killing 5 adults.
But you know what? They're adults. They've gotten to a certain point. I'm not really sure why they're on the tracks or in the burning building. They should have made better choices or learned stop, drop, and roll. Right?
Agree.
Which is now seems to be an ongoing joke, right? I think I heard it, right? Like your and I's generation, we learned in school to stop, drop, and roll. So now every 6th reel that is about our generation is a joke about, hey, I learned how to do this. I thought I was going to be on fire way more.
Yeah, that and quicksand, right? Like that's what we've talked about. Is like quicksand never came up in my life, and I've yet to use stop, drop, and roll.
But I see it now all the time as a joke.
It's funny.
Like I see these reoccurring jokes. I think I asked my wife the other day. I said, "Are people just watching a reel and recreating it almost verbatim?" I think they are, because now I didn't used to watch a lot of those short form videos, but I got sucked in more to Instagram because I wasn't really on TikTok. But then other platforms are like, well, they're doing it, so we're doing it too.
Yep.
So I watch more Instagram of those.
Sucks. Like I can't get away from it.
But you see the same joke,
done, and then you get in that algorithm, and then you just keep seeing the same different people doing the same crap.
Exact same joke. I'm like, I know you've seen this before. Anyway, I kill the 5 people. They're adults. My loved one is my loved one. I'm just going to be more a propensity to go, oh my gosh, I got to save that person. I'm really sorry to the 5. And they have families, but
it's 100%. You 100% got it right.
Dang, I was kind of hoping you'd take the other.
No, I'm not taking the other. I can tell you that right now. I'm taking the sister on this one. You got to, and you just go, 5 people die. 5 people die every day. My sister needs to be alive. So just saying. All right.
For sure. She controls an entire school system.
She does.
So she definitely needs to be alive.
Society kind of crumbles, in my opinion. So would your partner still want to be with you if she could read your mind?
Wow. I love this. This is great. I'm living in Star Wars because we've gone to the dark side. I said Harry Potter world, and you're like, let's take it to the dark side. Man, I don't think anybody might want to be around me if they could live in my head. It's like I got 5 parts, and like 3 parts are child. Just laughing at the most inane things.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. I posted up. I post here and there, but I've been posting a little bit more. And so this was a true story. I'm in Hobby Lobby with my wife, and she's trying to look.
I didn't see this.
She's trying
with the emojis or not the emoji. The fruit.
They were like real life emojis. Yeah. My wife and I we're like, hey, let's go to Hobby Lobby because she wants to find these rocks for these wall hangings that we have to make them look nice, which is great. And so one aisle over is all of this wax fruit, and of course I'm drawn to it like a bee to honey.
Yeah, you can't not be.
And of course I see all of this fruit, and the first thing in my brain, because I don't see it immediately, but I'm like, I look to see. I'm like, would these people really put out a large plastic eggplant? And sure enough,
There's an eggplant.
So I grab the eggplant, I grab a giant peach, and Laura's not in my aisle, and I'm like, and I yell in the middle of the store.
I've got this giant
like
eggplant.
I go, I have found new kitchen articles of decoration. And I found, and actually I started moving down the aisle with these, and figured out she was on the move. And I think she started moving faster because she turned around, like looking at me, laughing, but sort of not like, I'm not with him.
I'm trying to get away from you, kind of thing.
Right. And then I think the other 2 parts are, I don't know, work and I don't know what else. And I'm sure the dark side material, I don't know, because I always do look at like on the internet, when you see things and you're like, oh, this is going to go bad. This is terrible. Or like, yeah, I can be funnier than that. I don't know. It's just so mundane. I think that I don't know. I think it would be a lot to handle.
You think no?
I think it'd be hard for anybody being able to read people's minds. Yes, maybe yes. I think she would. She would stick with me, but I would have to. I think I would really.
I think my wife would not
start curbing what I.
Yeah,
what I let
I would
creep
have to
in.
change the way my brain works because it's
Right.
like it, and it's not. I mean, I just think it's normal brain stuff. You can think things and not say.
Oh,
them,
yeah,
and
or do them.
Think things and not act on them.
Right.
All those things.
Right.
Like, but to have to like go here, you have free reign to see what's going on in my head.
Right.
Even the stuff I don't act on or don't say. That is bad. That is a bad spot. I don't want you in there.
Right, because because thoughts come in that you can't control.
Yeah, no, that's not under my control.
Right. So if you walk in and they're pounding a bag of Doritos or something, and you just look over and you go, oh my gosh, look at that. They are just pounding that. Like they might take offense to that.
Oh yeah, like I said, mine wouldn't laugh. I'm just saying, my wife would not.
Not that
last.
she does that, but I was just trying to think of
Yeah. And that's probably the easiest example. There's probably way worse examples than that, where you're like, what the, like all kinds of weird crap. Like, no. I'm gonna go with no. My wife would not.
That was my original answer, but I would really hope that.
I love that you
she loves
changed
me
it.
enough that. Well, I think she claims that
I know. Well, we'll
her
see.
love has no boundaries. So,
All right.
Like, well, you haven't been in this head yet.
So we're gonna rate a can here in a second. I want you to answer one short one for me, real quick, which is if you noticed an endangered animal eating an endangered plant, what would you do?
Laugh. First of all, I would have to know they're endangered. So maybe it's a panda. I mean, I kind of know they're sort of endangered. I don't know many other ones.
Right.
So
you got a panda eating an endangered lily.
Yeah, I would laugh probably.
Be like, I can't fix this. This is nature.
Oh yeah, I would do nothing about it. There's no physical action I would take.
All right.
I'm not out to save one panda or what'd you say?
Endangered lily.
Or the white spotted leopard of
the
the
snow
Himalayas
leopards
or
of the
something.
Himalayas, yeah,
There's like 4 left, and it's eating poison ivy or something. I'm like, oh my gosh, your mouth's gonna itch. But that's not.
I think I'm with you there. I just kind of go, what do you want me to do about this? Like,
yeah, I got nothing.
It's 2 things eating. I can't fix that. All right. So one last question.
I wouldn't shoot the animal.
Right. I'm not killing either one of them. They're killing they're like, I don't know. So whatever. Would you go visit Jurassic Park if it was real?
No way, man. Did you see what happened to most of those people? Like the lawyer got eaten out of an outhouse. They fell off.
What if it was
cliffs.
safe?
You mean it worked like it was supposed to?
Yeah, it worked like it was supposed to.
Because it never does.
No, it's a whole series
Right.
of bad.
Every single movie
yeah.
ends in complete tragedy.
Right.
So I'm like, there's no way in hell I'd go there, knowing what I know based on movies. But that's fiction. So real life.
Yeah.
We wouldn't mess that up.
Yeah.
Right. Disney would take it over and they would do it fantastic.
Right. And
It'd be magical.
Right. Florida would be mad at them, but still they're still gonna do it.
Right. The dinosaur out of Toy Story comes to real life.
So you wouldn't go?
No, I would.
If it were safe.
Oh yeah. If it was like just another park of Disney, I would wait a couple years because I don't want to be in the crazy long lines.
So if it was Animal Kingdom, but except for with Jurassic period animals, you would be like, yeah, I'm in.
For sure. Huge. I would be like, this is great. Let's go go check it out.
But if it's as it was in the movie, and you have to be one of the people who actually just made it out,
Right. Never.
like I'm a hard
Well, I
pass.
mean, if you say, "Oh, you're going to make it out," no. But
still
you don't
too
know.
traumatic.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not,
I'd be that fringe character that's like, hey, this is the button that opens the door, and that's his only line. That guy's dying.
Yeah, agree.
A horrible death too. It's not even a good one. I mean, one of the main characters, that hunter guy, right? I mean, that was horrible in the first one when he gets taken out.
None of them.
His arm gets ripped off, right?
Yeah, it's all bad.
Yeah, bad.
All right, let's rate a beer. We're gonna come back. I've got enough of these to last for a while. But we're in it.
We're going.
Probably
Yeah.
right.
Time's flying when you're having fun, you know.
Agree. So,
What do you think of this Dallas Blonde
um,
with one shoe on and one shoe coming off?
yeah. So it's kind of sassy, full flavored. I don't know about floral. I'm not super refined palate guy, so I don't really get all these floral notes and nonsense. I do taste a little
Nonsense.
but so it's a full flavored beer. It's not bad. It's probably going to be a 3 for me. It's not a light beer. It's got flavor to it. It's got a little boldness. So I don't dislike it. I do like it. I drink a couple of these, probably 3 or 4. I'm good with that. Would I buy this over any other Mick Ultra or whatever we put in our, like Yingling? I put in my house all the time. So probably not.
I was going to say, now that Yingling has
Now that Yingling is here, I'm in.
traveled, that's your go-to
It
for
is.
sure.
So
all right.
I'm probably at a 3. It's a pretty average ale. I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably at a 3. So,
All right, 3 it is. I'm going to go, it says Golden Balanced Session Ale. I don't taste a lot of gold. It's not prevalent. I do taste more session, I would say.
there's a lot of session in it.
So it's not quite balanced because I taste more session than I do gold. But yeah, it's got a nice subtle flavor that's not overly light.
Yeah.
And so, but it's not real heavy.
No, it's not super,
either.
no.
And I think we tend towards some of the lighter beers.
Yeah.
And because we like to just steady drink on them. Whereas if we had like a super heavy beer, you drink one and you're like, oh,
It's time to switch. Yeah.
right. So I think these are up our alley where, you know, when we're tasting them, we're like, oh man, keep feeding me these and I'm going to have them. If I'm at the store and I see it,
Are you picking it up?
I'm probably going to go, oh, I've had that.
Yep.
And that's pretty good.
If they're out of everything else I want,
Yeah.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of where I'm
But I'm not going to seek it out. I'm not going to be like, next time at the store, I'm like, hey, where's that Dallas Blonde?
Yeah. And I'm
Necessarily,
not a big fan of blondes anyway. And not that I don't like them as people. That's not my thing. But so yeah, just saying. Where are you at with it?
3? I thought I said
Oh,
that.
did you? Sorry. I didn't write it
That's
down.
all right. 3. 1, 2, 3.
3.
4,
We're
5, 6,
pair
7, 8,
threes.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Nice. You little Sesame Street on me.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I've saved this question to the after the break, after the rating system, because it's my favorite question. The reason why I was excited about doing hypothetical situations, so I can't wait to ask, and I hope it doesn't bomb. But would you want to know if you're really a robot?
Wow.
Like
So
if we're in a simulation or something, and you're technically a robot, would you want to know?
so this is the premise of Blade Runner.
Would you want to know?
And it's a really good question, especially because in that one, the Blade Runner is hunting down robots and killing them, or decommissioning them.
Yeah.
It's what I want to know, because that's a really good one. You kind of stumped me a little bit. I could go in a few different directions. I mean, like if I knew I was a robot, I would then try to seek out my maker to see, can I stop aging? You know, can you reprogram me? Could you put my chip into a new body? There would be a lot of questions about immortality, because I do feel salient. What's the word when sentient? Right, like when robots become human-like, it's like
Okay, yeah.
it's the sentient, isn't that?
I don't
is that
know.
Right?
You're saying words that don't make sense to me, but yeah,
right.
I'm gonna go with
that's,
yes. I'm
That's
gonna
the
shake my
fear
head.
of people, right? Is that robots gain the same level of, you know, being awareness,
Okay.
and then can think on their own and then turn on us.
Yeah.
Right. So I think I would want to know, but then because is everyone else a robot? Like if I'm a robot, then everyone's got to be a robot, right? Or am I the only robot?
You might be the only robot.
I think I'm going to go with yes.
Okay.
Because I'm always seeking out information and I want to know about myself and about others.
So you kind of touched on my answer to this too, though. I think I'm going to go with a hard yes, because I would want to know what upgrades I can get.
Right.
Like if you're hiding it from me, if whoever someone is who's not telling me I'm a robot, finally tells me I'm a robot, then I'm like, have you not given me upgrades? Like, could I get better?
Right.
Like, I could be a better version of this.
Yes. Can I go get new parts?
Right. Like,
I'm not saying which part I
Like
might necessarily want to change out. I'm just saying,
right. But
is
if
it
I
an
could-
option?
Right. Yeah. Are there bigger things that I could get? Is there a catalog I could pick from? That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Upgrades.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Agree. And
Brain size, I think, is what we're talking about.
Agree. And like my
Intellect.
my knee hurts, so I wanted to replace that. That's what
With
I was
a bigger
talking-
knee.
Yeah, with a bigger knee. I want. Jesus. Okay, this is kind of a long one, so work with me here. So pretend like you were walking through the woods, and you come across a black suitcase, and in that suitcase it contains $1 million, but there's also a blood-stained piece of paper with the words "Don't" written on it. That's all it says. Will you take the suitcase home or will you leave it there?
Don't. That's a really good question. Oh man. So I'm just,
So picture yourself walking through a weird.
I know the answer to this.
Oh no.
And I think that there is a right answer and a wrong
Okay.
answer. In real world.
Okay.
This is real world.
Yeah, real world. You pick up a suitcase and it's got $1 million in
Because-
it, and there's a bloody note on it.
So $1 million does not just appear in a suitcase without someone looking for it. This is no country for old men, and nothing good happens to the people that grab that money and take it home. Because the person that is looking for it is going to come after
Is
it.
going to find you.
Yeah.
So you leave it.
So I leave it. I probably call someone and go, hey, this is there. Maybe some of the authorities, and go, no, I found that. If there's some sort of weird law, because you see this in movies, right? But I don't know that this is a real law where it's like, well, if it goes unclaimed, then for like 60 days,
Right. You get it.
then you get it. I would hope that be the case. But I'm not going to put my own life in jeopardy over $1 million and having no clue where it came from. Note or no note, even if there was 0 note in there, I still don't take it. No way.
If I find it, I'm
I'm assuming the mob lost it.
I'm 100% taking it home. Especially if there's no note.
You're dead.
I'm in it. I'm in whatever saga that leads to that led to the bloody note in the first place. I'm in. I've seen it, which means I'm already a loose end. So I'm taking it.
Have you seen The Bad Guy from No Country? But no, you're not a movie guy.
You're a
so-
movie person.
I know.
I haven't tainted my whole imagination with
livelihood.
movies.
Right.
Okay.
That stuff's real, though.
It's not. It's made up. Take the money. All right. So easy question.
You think someone loses $1 million and not coming after it, you're crazy.
Agree. But people lose, so cartels lose hundreds of pounds of cocaine in the ocean every year. Like stuff sinks. Yeah. Boats get, they lose all.
True, but they know that it's gone. Anyway,
All right.
continue. I kind of derailed right there.
You
at the
did.
end.
Super derailing. So now we have to answer the serious questions. Like, if a turtle loses its shell, would you consider it homeless or naked?
That's a good one. I'm going to go with naked.
I went with naked as well.
That's so funny. I got sometimes I answer these and I'm like, he's taking the other one on this one because
No.
it's really fun to think that that's their home and they're like, where did my home go?
Yeah, my wife is afraid of homeless people, so I'm gonna stay away from homeless. Okay, so you pick up a book, you start reading it, and then all of a sudden you realize it's your life. Do you keep reading because it's beginning to end? Do you keep reading the book, knowing that the next page is future? You've read up until current. Do you turn the page and keep reading?
Okay, so my first inclination it was my life up until this point.
No,
and then I would put it down because I'm like, maybe I'll read it later
'Cause I've already
when I'm
I've already
older.
done it.
All right.
No.
I don't like reading books a lot twice. So I lived it once.
Yeah.
But you're saying I get to current, and then if I keep reading, then everything is spelled out of what I do.
Yeah. How it ends.
Yeah.
You get to hear the story.
I can't skip chapters. I can't skip to the end and go, I just want to read the last page, and it's the funeral.
It's a hypothetical.
I know.
So I'm gonna go with yeah.
But
You
sometimes
have to read the whole book. Let's
Yeah.
just go with you have to read the whole book.
So this is one of those things where overdo it in my head, and my wife would probably leave me because because in my head I'm overdoing everything. And she's like, "Oh my God, just answer the question." So I'm gonna go with no. I don't really want to know everything. I do believe that the spice of life is in the journey and like seeing it as it happens. So yeah,
You had the right answer, which is if I can read just the last chapter, would love to.
all right.
But knowing that I have to read every word up into the last chapter, don't want to know.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good not knowing the journey.
right.
I do want to know when the journey ends because I kind of would like to prepare for it. If it's like in 3 weeks, if it's the whole, it's like it's like 3 more pages. I'm like, oh crap.
That's the kicker, right? So
Like,
if you actually have the
thick it
book,
is, right? Like, yeah, you gauge how thick it is on whether or not you want to read it in advance.
The book, can you put a bookmark right where we are current so I know how much about is left?
Okay, so I've wondered about this, and I didn't purposely bury it this far down in the questions, to like hopefully take the heat off me. But I have always wondered about this. So, how would you dispose of a corpse if a personal friend killed someone for legitimate causes and you couldn't report it to the authorities?
All right, so
I'm asking for a friend.
For a friend.
For a personal friend.
right. So they are in a predicament.
And they've killed for legitimate reasons. Whatever those legitimate reasons are, you pick what that legitimacy is.
And they cannot go to the authorities.
No.
And I'm forced to get rid of a corpse. What do I do with it? Man, that's a really good question.
How do you get rid of it?
Without getting caught.
Yep.
Because that's the kicker, right?
Because now you're implicated.
Right.
I've already assumed.
I show up at the scene.
I've already assumed you're in.
All right, and somehow now I'm like,
Now you're in.
I've touched blood, and now my DNA is present, and
Yep.
I'm like, oh, now I'm in it.
Yep.
Man, that is so dark. That's dark. I mean, it's dark. I'm just saying. I'm just being.
Some
just
of these
being
are
out there
dark.
because but I'm sure everyone's sort of thought about that, especially if you've watched any real true crime documentaries or listen. Like you watch these things and you're like, these people are idiots. I know I could get away with this.
Right.
I would just do one or two different things.
Yeah.
So what I think I would do is I would go to the hardware store and I would buy a tub. Like, like one of those.
Like a feed trough for cows or something?
No, like one of those plastic, like you put your Christmas stuff in. At
Like
the
a
end of the year.
Tupperware thing?
Like, yeah,
Big
a bigger Tupperware thing.
Yeah.
And then I buy, I don't know how much this would take, but I guess I would have to guess 6 bags of Quikrete. And then I would come back. I would fill the bucket with Quikrete up to where I would think that it's not going to overflow. When I have no idea, right? But like halfway or 3/4 of the way, and then I probably put the body in it and try to submerge it.
Okay.
And then let it dry.
Okay.
And then go throw it off a bridge.
How are you going to pick up
I don't know.
80 tons of Quikrete?
That's 80 tons. I don't know. I don't know how
kidding.
much. I don't know how much concrete weighs.
Okay,
At that. It's
but
probably
you'd be
more
like-
than I can pick up. But my friend's helping me, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You have at least 2 people there. So, all right.
Right.
So
They didn't ditch me. I'm not the only one.
Yeah, you Quikrete it.
I'm just putting it in something that I know will sink, and also if you see it from the outside, like so,
It doesn't look. Yeah. Even
Yeah.
if when the Tupperware is gone, it's just a big ass block
Yes.
of concrete
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
Completely. As long
Encased.
as there's not an arm sticking out.
Right. Yeah. No, I would make sure it's in the middle, kind of thing.
Like, how about a garbage sack? Like, put it in a body in a garbage sack, submerge it in concrete.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
way, everything stays together.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, then I'm 100% on board with this. I'm
What have you done lately?
I'm calling-
What have you not told me?
yeah, we've got stuff.
Did you have your own way?
Yeah, we have no. That's it now.
Well, did you have a different way than when you read this to yourself?
I always think people dump bodies or bury them. I'm like, I would never do that. Like, you burn a body till it's just parts, and then you take all those parts and you dump them in the middle of a lake somewhere, so you could never ever find the dental parts of it.
Yeah.
I think you have to do multiple forms of badness to get rid of all the evidence. Is my opinion,
yeah.
but you're like concrete in the middle of, like, I wouldn't put it in a river. That's not going to work. What happens when the river goes dry one summer? Because it's like you got a
Giant block of concrete.
I'm with you in a sack.
But you don't see the sack. The sack's in the
maybe
middle, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
My thing, I could not. I don't
right.
think I'm burning a body. I think that's like intense, man. I mean, like for cremation, you got to have like a furnace built for that.
Yeah,
I don't think you can just burn.
We're talking Viking funeral kind of thing, right? Like,
I still don't think that works.
I'm gonna shoot an arrow at it. I don't know. I like your idea better. That's why I changed sides in the middle.
Oh, which makes me sound like
Yeah,
I've thought too much about that.
That's why I'm calling you. All right. So, which company would you choose to be the CEO for? If you could just be the CEO, what company?
Tomorrow,
Apple.
they're very profitable. They have a really good foothold in where they're at. Like I wouldn't be coming into a complete basket case of like I don't feel like I feel like other than when they come out with this VR headset in June.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But I just read a article where more people right now are switching over from Android into iPhones. It's like up to 85% market share. I'm like, they just have such a cash flux, just have so much going for them that they had to start paying out a dividend because they just had too much cash. Like they have problems that everybody else wants to have.
Yeah.
I feel like I know enough about technology. I feel like I know enough about the products because I've used them that I would just rely on the smarter people building the stuff, and I can go, that sounds good, do that. Don't spend money over here. I could do some of the basics. I feel
Apple's came up in my head too. There's an ambitious side of me that says I would go pick some sort of like venture capital fund that goes in and takes over companies and tries to get them. Like I would go,
Right.
I'm going to go after some stuff.
Yeah.
Then there's the other side of me that goes, I want Amazon.
Right.
And I'm just going to go board of directors, start making decisions because I'm going to go. I'm probably going to take my boat and go around the world and go do stuff I want to do. And
You have to work as a CEO.
I mean, you say that, but maybe I don't.
You're right.
I mean,
you're like, hey, if I set up the golden parachute, right, where if they get rid of me, I'm set for life anyway.
Right. And I would probably need less than what their current CEO has on a golden parachute, right? So I'm like, just give me a tenth of what that is, and I'm probably pretty good. So fire me after
Put
a
$1 million out in a case in a field, and I'm good.
Right, and I'm taking it. I don't care if it's covered in blood. I'll call Andrew. We'll get rid of some body.
That's right.
All right, we got time?
Yeah, we got a few minutes.
A little bit? Okay, so, this is a weird one, and it's similar to one that we had before, but the opposite. So if you could live in anyone's head for an hour, who would you choose?
Oh, I don't, man. Oh, if I could live in anyone's head. That's a good question. I don't think it would want to be. I think some of the answers that would pop in are like celebrities or rich people, CEOs of very good companies. I don't know. I don't think I would necessarily go that route because I feel like once I went in there, that it would taint me. But I feel like anybody would. That's a really good question. Do you have an answer?
Mine's my wife. It's 100%. If I could live, and if I could understand how my wife thinks for an hour, I would take it in a heartbeat over anybody else.
Do you feel that's an interesting, because one of the first things I thought of is would I want it to be my wife? And I think almost the opposite of part of the adventure is not knowing, because you navigate that. And you know some, but you don't know all.
Right. And I feel like I'm navigating it poorly half the time. And I'm like, I hate that. I would just love to know how you process things, because then I wouldn't be so harsh on certain things and I'd be harsher on others. I don't know.
She could stop taking surveys.
She does. She loves this survay.
I'm sure she does.
I've surveyed her about it.
I'm sure she tells you
She's
that.
She's an 8
all
out of 10 on taking surveys for one.
Wow. Yeah. I thought of that. And I think it would. It goes also the opposite direction of going. I might find out something I don't want to know, and like I said, part of the adventure of being in a relationship, I feel like, is navigating those with not all of the information. Sort of like the reading the book, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Would you look ahead?
I don't really
would
want
you
to know
solve the
that.
puzzle?
If somebody that close to me, I think it would be, I would really have to think about that. I mean, that's a huge question, and
It's hypothetical.
I know, but
that's why I love it.
it's almost like I wouldn't pick anybody, because it's like, if you choose your hero, then I think you'll be disappointed.
Yep.
You know, if you choose a person that lives a lifestyle that you would want, you would go, man, I don't want to go back to my lifestyle. And I'm afraid of people that know me.
On you. Yeah.
Because you're like, the real thoughts of what they think about me scares me a little. Sometimes it's okay to put on a front in front of me if you really, have a seething hot hatred towards me.
Yeah. I'm okay with
just
that.
pretend.
I don't need to be
pretend
in your
away.
head. Yeah. All right. So I've got two more. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
We good?
Yes. Is that one of the questions?
No,
Am I okay
sorry.
with two more?
I need three more.
That's not hypothetical.
I'm going to do three more.
Okay.
Because I have 1,000 questions. I'm not even going to get to half of them.
We've only done 997.
We have.
So let's do the last three.
Yeah, absolutely. So what amount of money per month would you need to give up your cell phone for good?
Forever?
How much money a month? This is a monthly income. How much money a month would you have to give? Would you have to get to give up your cell phone forever? Never have a cell phone in your hand again.
Never have a cell phone in my hand. Current conditions, I'm going to go with, and we're talking minimum or ideal? Minimum, I'm going to say, can I do this on a yearly basis and then we'll just divide? I'll take $1 million a year minimum. I can do without a cell phone. I mean, it's not ideal. I like it, having it. I still get a TV, right? Can I stream stuff on it? Like, just what? Because if I can quit my job and make $1 million a year, then it would be rough navigation in this world, but I could still travel a little bit. I could still stay home and watch my documentaries when I want.
Yeah.
And then if I really need to ask a question, I could ask one of my kids, "Hey, I need a piece of information. Can you look that up for me? Can I have my computer?"
Yeah, you just can't have a cell phone.
Yeah, $1 million.
So I'm
Easy
less than
peasy.
that.
I could probably go less, but
mean,
why? If someone's offering,
I will take a million,
Yeah.
but I would take less than that, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you said, I'm going to give you $500,000 for the rest of your life every year to never have a phone in your hand, I think I'd take it. Like,
because you wouldn't have to work again.
Yeah, I can retire and do whatever. Yeah. You didn't say my wife couldn't have a phone in her hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that's
so
why I was saying I could
do it for less than
say,
that.
"Hey, could you do me a favor and call so and so?" And
yeah, tell them I'm here.
Right.
I think I'd be a happier person and have more money. Like, that would be great. I wish somebody would offer me $500,000.
Yeah. You think you'd be happier?
Yeah.
I'm the opposite, though. I feel like I've controlled my phone, turned off a lot of notifications. I only get ones that I really think are pertinent. I hate notifications.
No, I think I'd be happier.
Okay.
I think I'd take it. All right. So quickly, what's the, if you had the power to make one thing legal and one thing illegal right now, what would it be?
If I can make one thing legal and one thing illegal. So legal. Let's go with, this is going to sound so bad. Not that I want to necessarily partake in it, but I just think it's stupid that it's illegal. Prostitution. I don't see why we have to hold down people that want to necessarily make a living, and it's a business. It's a business. And if you're a consenting person, and there are people that do that business that are way less safe now because they do it under the table. It's just the first thing that popped into my head, and that sounds so terrible because it probably sounds like I want to make that illegal so I can go partake. Bound chicka bow wow. But not really. Because most of the drugs that, marijuana is legal. I don't need the other ones. I know there are some people that are like, make it all legal and
tax it, and it's okay that everybody's,
and let's not put people in jail for non-violent offenses. I can see that. But I was trying to think of anything else that I would want to be legal. If I could make something illegal, anything I think of would really be hindering on other people's rights because it would be solely for my benefit. It's illegal for anyone to
leave their stuff on the countertops at my house.
I'm thinking more in terms of when I have to stand in lines or wait for things. So if I could just make it illegal for anybody to do anything after the 4 o'clock hour, and then I could just do it all after. That's so ridiculous. But real world, I don't know.
Sure. I mean, I would go. I think it should be illegal to like text and drive or something. Like it's illegal in some states, but I want it to be like
it's in most states other than like 3.
Death penalty illegal. Like you should go to jail for a long time.
I mean, but that is illegal. That's a good one. But most of them did make that illegal.
All right, so I don't know either. There's some weird inconvenience things that I'd go. I'm 100% with you. And the first thing in my head was prostitution as well, just for the record. I don't think other drugs other than marijuana should be legal. I just think there's a reason that people get hooked on stuff, and the more available things are, the easier it is.
Sure.
So, but yeah, my first thought was
that's hilarious.
Allow adults to be.
Our wives are going to listen to this, and
and they're going to be pissed.
Come in with questions. Your survey night's really going to.
Yeah, I'm going to be a 2 out of 10.
But did you think on the flip side? We kind of did. You said a lot of convenience
not
things
good
to make illegal.
Okay.
All
right. So the last question, as a kind of a wrap up question. So, how do you think you would have responded to the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yep. Are you satisfied with the change of where you are now between then and now?
I am, and I feel blessed for it. I've had a good job, a steady job for a long time with a fairly stable company, and have grown in my career. My family has grown, and the kids have grown and done their thing. There's always hiccups along the way, but I don't get up in the morning and regret. And I know a lot of people regret regret might be the wrong word. I shouldn't say never. Most all mornings, I don't get up and dread what's going to happen that day.
Cool.
And that is one of my life goals. Right?
Yeah. Don't dread your day.
Yeah.
From the very beginning.
Yeah. If I wake up and there's been periods in my life where I did.
Yeah.
Where you're in a job where you're like, I don't even want to get out of this bed. And tons of people deal with that every day. And there's a lot of that. So when I say I feel truly blessed, I do, because I see a lot of people in those situations. And sometimes you go, well, maybe you could get out of it in a 5-year plan or something like that. Maybe you can't. But to me, if 5 years ago I said, my big goal would be I can wake up every day and not dread the day, and knowing that my kids are still okay, my wife is okay, and I have a steady job that, I don't have to conquer Mount Everest. I don't that's not really the type of person I am. So I never made 5-year goals that say, I'm going to climb a crazy mountain. I'm going to jump out of an airplane. I'm going to, and a lot of people do that too, right? They do bucket list. I'm sort of I don't like bucket list per se, because I feel like if you don't hit those things, you feel like a sense of not having, disappointment and not accomplishing things. I want to strive to do things that make me happy and make those around me happy. And I feel like most days that's the general path. There's going to be hiccups all over, but
so you think 5-year plan, you'd be pretty on it.
Yeah, I would look at myself now and go, I'll take that for sure. Yeah. I mean, the complaints I have, they call it, the first world problems.
Yeah, first world problems, for sure.
Yeah. So I have nothing to complain about on a real scale. I mean, I complain about people leaving stuff on my counter.
Right, because that's a real thing. So for me, you and I I was working for the same company you work for 5 years ago. So I think my 5 years ago self would have probably would have been surprised at where I am now. Although also would not have chosen that, would not have said, oh, this is my 5-year goal, is to be doing something completely different company, move twice, whatever. But I think it would have been That's the beauty of 5-year goals, right? Is you go, this is where I want to be. And then your life changes and you're like, oh, this is probably a better place than I wanted to be. Lots of decisions later, lots of adversity later. And I need to do something different. I need to do something different. I need to go somewhere else. I need to build a skill here. I need to do that. I love where I'm at. Like I love the journey I've taken. I don't know that I would have picked it at 5 years ago. I don't think I would have called it. Would have been wrong. Probably a lot wrong. So I just think that was a weird question when I read it. I'm like, 5 years ago, me would be like, yeah, that's not where you're going to be. And it probably would have looked at it and gone, oh my God, I can't believe you changed companies twice. Like, what are you doing?
For sure.
Not okay, dude. But I think it was good. Me now goes, yeah, I think it was the right answer for me. Yeah. So would have been a weird conversation with 5 years ago me, but yeah, different, but still good.
Yeah, I think and to your point, we know how much can change in 5 years. 5 years is a long time.
Long time. Yep.
So I think you would have been like, wow, that's surprising, but not necessarily off the meter.
Yeah, it would have surprised me, but I'm like, okay, well, you've kind of went with the flow, I guess, of whatever happened. I don't know.
If right now you're I cut you off. I thought you were about ready to pause. If your 5-year self from 5 years from now came back right now and said, guess what? You joined a cult and
I'd be like, yeah, that's part of my goal.
Now that would definitely be part of your goals.
You and Andrew buried 2 bodies between where you are now and where you are in 5 years. I've been like, I knew it.
And you don't have a cell phone, but you have some weird income that comes in from nowhere that you don't even know. That's $500,000
You just keep
a year.
finding a duffle bag in the woods covered in blood that you pick up every month.
And it leads to no consequences.
That's right.
I think you would be surprised by that.
I would be. And that's why I love hypothetical questions. So I'm glad we did this whole episode. It made me laugh. So I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, you'd be like, the biggest surprise of that is that I joined the cult and I'm not the leader of it.
Right. Yeah. I have to work my freaking way up. It sucks. I've got another 5-year goal. That's awesome. All right.
All right, we good?
Yeah, I hope people enjoyed that. Yeah. That was kind of
I hope you played along at home, and I'm sure that's hopefully some thought-provoking type of thing. So in your head, you may have paused and been like, I know what my answer would be, and then listen to our goofiness.
Absolutely.
As we sounded it out. So we'll go on. All right. Well, we're at episode 98. We're coming up on some milestone stuff. So we're going to have some interesting and fun episodes to follow as we close in on the century mark.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So hopefully...
who would have thought?
Yeah, if you're out there, stay tuned. There's surprises to be had.
Surprises to be had for 99 and 100?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
cool.
you.
Thanks, you.
Sometimes it's hard for people to understand when it's time to hang up. They don't quite understand the verbal cues. So I'll do you the favor. Hang up now.